All right, so the official word about Evgeny Kuznetsov and his potential contract buyout and all that stuff hasn't come down yet. In order for his contract to be terminated, he needs to be placed on unconditional waivers with the designation of either a buyout or contract termination. We haven't seen that officially come down as of yet. We haven't seen an announcement from the team or anything along those lines. But we're still waiting for that to happen. So until then, we're still trying to figure out, okay, well, if that actually doesn't happen, what does that actually mean for guys like Natchez, Jarvis, and Drury who are waiting for either salary arbitration or restricted free agency signings, whatever it might be. Now, here's something that actually happened yesterday that kind of maybe flew under the radar for a lot of Carolina Hurricanes fans. Because let's say Evgeny Kuznetsov doesn't actually leave, which, okay, you're keeping a good player. But the cap space to sign a Seth Jarvis to a long-term deal might not be there this year. So what can Seth Jarvis maybe do in the short term? Even if Seth Jarvis is, the cap space is free for Jarvis to sign, let's say, 8-year contract at $8 million a year, is he willing to do that as of right now in his career? There's a player by the name of Quinton Byfield who was drafted same year, 2020, is a year younger, about 6 months younger, I should say, than Seth Jarvis, plays for the LA Kings. Center, big guy, like 6'5", 220. Plays for the LA Kings, just signed a 5-year, $6.25 million contract with the LA Kings. So that'll take him to about age 26, 27, which and then he can really cash in his mid-20s on his next contract. That doesn't help the Carolina Hurricanes in the sense that Seth Jarvis put up way more points and better numbers than he did this year and is only 6 months older. Quinton Byfield, 20 goals, 35 assists. Seth Jarvis, 33 goals, 34 assists, 67 points. So like already better goal production, already better point production. And you already know I'm a proven player in the playoffs, and I've been doing it for 3 straight years. Quinton Byfield's had one really, really good year. And he just got paid 5 years, $6.25 million. Let's say I want to do a 5-year deal. Maybe I can command $7 million a year over the next 5 and then cash in it again possibly. Seth Jarvis has a lot of options, and he has some leverage on his hands.
This is where relationships with agents matter. Mm-hmm. This is where you have to find out what the player wants and then appeal to that. Because, like, what should Seth Jarvis ask for? Well, that's a personal preference thing, right? He could ask for 8 years because he wants stability and he wants to get the most total value guaranteed on a contract. He could also say, I'm 22 years old. I want to take another stab at this where most of my next contract will be before the age of 32. So that the next time I'm asking for a contract, I won't have a GM telling me, well, by the end, like they probably just heard with Gensel, right? Like by the end of this contract, you're going to be 37, 38, and we don't expect, everybody falls off. So sometimes getting back to that bite at the apple again, get another contract quick is what the player wants. So it's really like do you hit on 16, right? Sometimes it's a personality thing. Well, do you like to live dangerously? What's Seth Jarvis want? And then you work around that. I will say this, like now the Kuznetsov thing is like a reverse of like why you got the Slavin deal done early, right? You got the Slavin deal done early so you knew what you could build, like how much cap space and what you could build around moving forward. Kuznetsov, now the $3.9 million, it's like you got to get that done so you know whether you have the $3.9 million or not to spend. It's hard to even really talk with Jarvis, with any kind of certainty when you don't know if you're going to have that $3.9 million or not, because that changes things because you know that arbitration might be coming for Natchez and Drury or one of the two. So it's a really tough situation to be in. You almost have to have like two things, right? Like Jarvis, here's what we can do for you if Kuznetsov is here. Here's what we can do for you if Kuznetsov is not, because we're going to have roughly $4 million in cap space different next year based on that. I think Kuznetsov is gone. That's how I would plan. But until pen hits paper, until all the proper certifications and double stamp, the triple stamps happen, it's not that easy.